Did my boy Sakurai just do that? He actually did it. He manned up, and he actually revealed the truth. That right there, that's worthy of praise. I praise this series right now just for that alone. But before I go any further, I just want to state a few things. If I look sick, I'm kind of sick. It's my allergies or whatever. I might be having a head cold or whatever. But if my nose looks red, I look like I'm congested or whatever, I sound congested, a little bit sick, so just doing an FYI. I'm fine, don't worry. Don't freak out or anything. I'm just common head cold, you know, winter, it's that time of year, so obviously people get sick. So don't worry. Just had a sore throat yesterday as well, but things happen. But anyways, though, let's get into this week's episode of A Recovery of an MMO Junkie. Sakurai. That man. I already liked him because he was already intelligent, figuring things out, putting things together, and realizing who Morty was. I was very happy. Extremely happy to see him actually taking note and realizing things and not just trying to shrug it off and acting like it wasn't happening. I was very proud. I was very proud of the writer and also the direction of the series just because of how that was done. It was very shocking. I've seen so many romance series. So many. Because it's one of my favorite genres. I've talked about that enough. Everybody knows by now I love the romance genre. I may not, review or talk about every single romance that comes out every season, but it's my favorite genre. It's one of my favorites. And seeing this series do what it just did, I cannot praise it enough. Hands down, I'm not even gonna lie, this might be the romance of this year, of 2017. Not gonna joke, because this right here, what just happened, surprised me, and let me explain why. Sakurai, as we already know, he already figured everything out. He knows that Morty is, the actual person he's been playing with when he's playing as Lily. We already know that, and he knew that, and he figured it out, which is very impressive, and it was something that made me shocked, because there's so many writers out there that like to do this, and then kind of sweep it under the rug to kind of just slow down the plot, because things are progressing too quickly, the plot needs to be slowed down. That happens a lot of, shows in manga and anime. I mean, Nisekoi is a perfect example of this. I mean, it is. It slows down the plot just because it doesn't want to reach that conclusion too quickly, because the writer can't think of something and to make the actual story interesting without slowing it down and making the pacing absolute trash. And so I'm just very pleased with how that was done. That's what really started making me really love this series. But once that was done, though, this episode and the end of last episode, it implied that Morty and Sakurai, they used to play together. They were the two individuals that were friends online, and eventually, they split up, and they didn't talk to each other ever since. And Morty has mentioned this quite a few times already since the very beginning of the series, and now we know who that person was. It was Sakurai. We found out in, last week's episode. Well, basically, in this episode, you would think that would be also swept under the rug. That wouldn't be, handled at all. Sakurai probably wouldn't understand it or realize, and it would only be Morty to understand to kind of mix things up. For instance, instead of Sakurai, figuring something out, it would be, Morty to figure something out. If Sakurai was going to be oblivious, I thought something like that was going to happen. And in a way, it did happen. But that's where it gets very interesting. Once that was done, however, you have it to where Morty actually confronts Sakurai on the phone to talk to him, to actually talk to him, figure this out, and when she actually has the courage to talk to him, the truth is revealed. They were once friends, and I was like, yo, we are getting some solid progression here. This is legit solid progression, because even though Morty, spends a lot of time with Lily, which is, Sakurai, that relationship from the past, though, like that old relationship, that's even more important than the relationship Morty had with Lily. It's just way more important, because that was such a long time ago, and it had such an impactful moment in her life, she constantly remembers it, and it's made her what she is today. And so, I didn't think that would be discovered that quickly. That was something that just like, whoop, I was like, whoa, I just didn't see it coming. And when they figured it out, I'm like, This is perfect. The romance is beginning. Her recovery is beginning. I'm like, this is just truly spectacular. Then the next part happened, which at first I was like, are you serious? Like, I was legit upset. Like, I was, okay? I'm not even gonna lie. As soon as they were on the phone, he was about to reveal that he was Lily. And that would have been like the final, icing on the cake and all that with a little cherry on top. That would have finished everything off. And I'm like, this is too good. That's what I was gonna say. Soon as I saw him on the phone, he's like, I'm Lily. And then he looks at his phone and the phone's dead. And I'm like, it's pulling an isekoi. It's pulling a classic romance scene to kind of slow down the plot. And I'm like, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, we had a lot of progression in, this episode. And I was thinking, I'm like, there was a lot of progression. I mean, number one, they found out that they were friends for a long time ago. And it's obvious that the writer probably doesn't want to speed the plot too fast because, there needs to be a long story. At the end of the day, he needs to make money. So I was like, okay, I guess. But it upset me. I was like, well, we have to have some form of cliches. But then we carry over to the next scene, and Sakurai and Mori, they meet, and he says he's Lily. He doesn't say it just once, but twice in the same episode. And he says it point blank to her. Point blank. I love this series. I love this series. I love this series. I really, really love this series. Because you know what this series just did? It used a cliche, but then it spit at the cliches like, no, we're not doing that. But also, it did something that could fix so many problems in so many other romance series: communication. I'm not trying to throw a jab at gamers from last season. It had a lot of miscommunication, and I loved it. Misunderstandings, miscommunication. It was a great series, though. It was fun in its own way. But the big thing is that what gamers is exactly what's a big problem with the genre. You have it to where there's not enough communication. People just don't sit down and talk about the problems or what is going on. And in this case, I did not think that is what would happen, but it did. Sakurai and Mori, they talked and they clarified things. Instead of leaving it in the back of their head, allowing it to build, cause drama, separate, whatever, they confronted each other, they talked about it. And this automatically reminds me that these two individuals, they're adults. And I'm like, yo, the writer of this series is worthy of respect, because it's not something you see a lot. It's not. It's not something you see a lot, especially this early into the series. I mean, even though we're almost done with this anime season, that's not a lot of episodes. It really isn't. So I'm just really shocked with the progression that's going on right now, and I'm like, this is fantastic. It's fantastic. It definitely one of my favorite episodes of the series, and one of my favorites from the fall of anime 2017, because I'm a sucker for romance. Big sucker. I'm biased. I'm very biased when it comes to romance, but I love it. And I especially love romance that tries to break the mold and do something completely different that we don't normally see, and that's exactly what just happened. So, it melts my heart. My heart just, melted, because that was how adorable it was. It healed my soul. I was like, this is just too sweet. So, yeah. Recovery of an MMO junkie. I never would have thought I would have gotten something like that in terms of just clarification with the romance and all that this early on, especially for the theme of the series. I mean, I've seen so many series like this, I just didn't think we have, confirmation, but it happened. So, whoa. Yeah, good series. So, that's about it. I mean, the episode is incredibly simple. It's basically just them revealing their secrets and finally talking about everything that we've been seeing ongoing for a while now, and it's finally settled, which is just perfect, because now the relationship can actually begin. The recovery can begin, because the title is A Recovery of an MMO Junkie, so she's finally going to be able to start recovering, because she now is going to probably be in a relationship with Sakurai, which is just going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this week's episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Please be honest in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, and if you like this video, please leave a like. And once again, before I end this video, if I look like I'm sick or I sound congested and different, it's because I am. I am sick, I am congested, my nose is stopped up or running, and my throat is killing me. So if I sound different in any way, or I look different, forgive me. But still a very good episode. So you all have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.